on them? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Is there any public comment? Yep.
Yeah, at the last meeting, you had a gentleman here that was representing a management firm. And you had a motion to take some action there, but there's nothing on your agenda. I was just curious as to if you followed up on that, or,
Yeah, we'll probably have a report on it under the, we'll be talking about it under the commissioner's report.
I got,
Yep.
this is the time to speak, right?
Yep.
Okay. On the agenda, I've got two properties, and I need a variance for a second driveway, because there's a house now on that property. I got some things here, if I may.
Yep.
I don't know if you've got one already, but, it's, and Dan, John,
I don't remember.
and Jim. Anyway, I got, I was gonna, I've got two properties, okay, well, it was one, at one time, we had a driveway, wiggled through it. Well, we decided to shave off a 10-acre parcel for the kids for hunting land. We never expected to build on it, but we since the land got split, we decided that, hey, you know, let's downsize, build a simple small house, and but now we need a second driveway, and there is a house back there, that's the one we live in now, but there's a wetlands. The problem with the driveway is it's inside the 300-foot variance, and I'm gonna ask for 130 feet, which is the same as a Rusk County. If you go to a Rusk County pumps out there in front of a shop, those two driveways are about 130 feet apart. Just for a visual, but ideally 105 feet is good because it's high land, but the 130 goes down to lower land, it's going toward the wetland, you know, and I wanna have issues with the wetland. But I never in my dreams thought that I would have a problem getting a driveway, you know. I thought two parcels, you know, and someday, you know, might get sold, somebody's gonna need a driveway, you know. So it's kind of a unique situation. There's a wetland on one side, and there's a map that shows that it's on a national wetland site. And then I've got a parcel on the other. And if you look at page 3, it shows the original driveway. Well, we've already got a house site there, and a well was made about a week ago. And there's all the dots there on page 3, all the dots, that's the old logging road. Well, if you go all the way in there, that's wet most of the year, but you could access J there, and it's, you know, it is a little drier right by Highway J, so I can do that. But and then you'll see the boundary line there, which is on the second page too, on the survey map. But you know, I guess I never envisioned that I would have an issue getting a driveway. And I never thought that things would move as fast as they are with the wife and I. But you know, the land that we're gonna build on is good hunting land. The grandkids are coming up in a month, you know. You know, so that's what I'm up against now. So I appreciate whatever you guys do.
We'll be discussing it down the line.
Pardon?
We'll be discussing it here in a little bit.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Any more public comment?
I'm curious, how many tons have we done through the blacktop plant this year?
About 15,000.
3,000?
15,000.
15,000?
Yeah,
They're still going yet,
we just finished up our last job for the year.
Okay. And I see that you're on a county travel, have you ever considered doing more online meetings versus sending people
A lot of it's hands-on too, though. So I mean, if there's something on the web that we can do, we do it, but like we went to Green Bay and that was hands-on, they actually give you, on screens, you take notes and you interact with other counties as well. So I mean, there's actually a lot to it.
out? Just a thought.
Mhm.
That's all I got, thank you.
Any other public comment? Here, now we'll move on to general business. Does anybody have an objection to adjusting the agenda? We can do this right away to call the permit.
I'm fine with it.
You have an objection to it?
Dan, are you good with it?
I'm good.
Okay. We're gonna adjust the agenda and go right to the, driveway permit approval for
Judy, I have,
Anthony Godwell.
I have stuff I can put up here on the screen. Maybe. Might be the same stuff that, he just handed out, but,
I did not put that in the packet, that's why we.
yeah.
So I measured this at about 150 feet between the two. He had said something about 130. I guess I don't really see an issue with going back 20 feet. As far as your field of vision, there's still plenty of vision. The only difference, that is 300, which would be in the wetland, it's too far. Can't do it. 150 is close to the wetland, you're probably still okay. But if we had to come back 20 feet, I don't foresee it being a major issue with that. As far as field of vision when you're coming up and getting towards the driveway, you have plenty of time to stop.
So I think this picture shows this line is kind of the property line. You can see the house
Yeah.
here, and then the driveway crosses that line and comes over on the other side. So he wants to put a driveway in here.
I think I see where the existing one is, that's the problem with pointing that out. Can you?
And there's an existing one, it's like right here. House is here.
Okay.
He already has a lane shot through property where he wants to put the new driveway, he just needs a spot to connect to the road, so. Didn't look like too much of an issue, we keep that with the wetland, it's just a matter of where he has to branch off to catch to that lane.
Any other questions?
No.
Approve the driveway variance for the driveway permit, consent. Mark second it. Any more discussion on it? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried. He got the permit, everything from you already?
What's that?
He got the permit from you and everything, right?
I have not signed the final so he can start,
Okay.
but I have the permit from him, yes. We'll have to figure out culvert size and that'll be it.
Next we'll move into opening bids for roof.
Alright, so I reached out to that individual we dealt with the bid last time, or the quote, and he did not make it over. I got a phone call from another, they never returned or stopped, and then, somebody else stopped out and they did not wanna submit a bid, so we only have one.
This is on the main shop, right?
Main shop, they got the control shed in there as well, if we decide to do something with that. This is, J&A Northwest. So project overview would be membrane repairs, remove and dispose of deteriorating failing patches, and then inspect material underneath for damage or rot. A charge of $10 per foot will be charged for removing the replacing rotten, wet decking, insulation foam that needed to be replaced. So it'd be $10 a square foot upon what they find underneath what they remove. Clean area to be patched and install new patches, remove old caulk and apply new caulk. Around the protrusion patches, the walling and other notable holes in the membrane, replace or reinstall fasteners backing out of metal cap, which would be the vent ridge on top there of the shop in the back room. And then they would either replace, looks like they're gonna install 2 new vents. Once they install the vents, they'll reinstall fasteners and then seal around the vents from the leaking water. Then they got the skylights on the walls that are fiberglass that are porous, letting water in. They got that on here. What they'll do is they'll insulate and then put steel around. And then the metal roof would be inspect fasteners on entire roof, caulk or replace failing fasteners. Inspect seams, patches, flashing on entire roof, caulk areas that are leaking or have potential leak. Existing caulk will be removed. Install foam inserts in areas that they're missing. And then they would throw out the roof ridge vents this is on the patrol sheds, and they would install a new one and seal around the vents. And then the fascia repair on the sign room, remove fascia, remove and dispose of 35 foot of rotten subface, install new 2x6, reinstall fascia. And lead time on all projects mentioned above is approximately 4 weeks. So that is description of what they're doing. So for highway shop and office, 22,400 square foot. Material delivery of $5,000, total cost about $18,000. Patrol sheds, 7,300 square feet, $1,500 in materials, $3,500 cost for repair. Then we got the sign shed, $50 for material, $1,200 repair. So materials, they got $6,500, $6,550, and then for total cost, it would be $22,700. And they got another section here, let me see what's in here quick. This is their inspection report, and if you wanna see it, I can hand it out to you.
$18,000 for the shop.
Yep.
3,500 for the patrol shed,
Correct?
and 22,700
For the total, 22,700, that includes $1,200
well,
for
that includes
repairs.
all the buildings?
What's that?
Yeah, 1,200 for the sign shed, 3,500 for the patrol shed, 18 for the highway shop, for a total of 22,700, correct?
Yep.
That would come out of the equipment fund, right?
No, this would hit buildings and grounds, which is allocated, per area. The largest area is, equipment storage, which mostly hits, maintenance and state.
Explain that again, do it have to go
Yeah.
property?
So it has, these charges have to be charged to buildings and grounds because it's repairs on our buildings. And that the costs of that are allocated each year, depending on the square footage, to the different sections, like admin, sign shop, brine. The biggest square footage that we have is for equipment storage, which that ends up going to, county maintenance, and we also get a reimbursement of like, I think it was like 23% from the state, so.
We really don't have a budget line for this.
We budget for, a buildings and grounds allocation to maintenance, because we know it's gonna happen, it's just, it's kind of a fluctuating amount.
So we'd have to send this to property to get it approved?
I don't know.
I would say yes, because property has jurisdiction over all county-owned facilities.
How do we go about the bid process on this? Put out?
Yeah,
We did,
Yeah.
that's what we just did.
Yeah.
So we advertised it?
Yeah, I had
Okay,
one
just wanna make
stop.
sure.
I had one stop that didn't have time, they subcontract, they didn't have time, they didn't really wanna get into it. I had another, I reached out, remember that bid for the whole roof, I reached out to him, he talked like he was gonna come over, and he never, all of a sudden, now I got time to come over. And then I had another email me and talked on the phone with them, and they were gonna contact somebody to come over, and they never did.
Okay.
I guess the next step would be approve the bid and then we'll send it to property for financing.
Yeah. We know anything about this company at all?
Where they at? GD Northwest. Also on the contract, they got a contractor has a $5 million liability insurance policy when they do repairs. She's gonna look up where they're actually located out of.
They're 4 weeks out, lead time.
Baronet,
Yeah, 4 weeks. Approximately 4 weeks is what they state.
But then, if I understood you correctly, they could run into some unforeseen costs here too.
Yeah, so.
$10 per square foot.
So if you guys remember back when I showed the PowerPoints pictures above the break room and parts room, where that raised roof for the crane stuff is, that snow comes off and it beats the crap out of that section. And what's going on there is it's sunk in and there's water pooling in that spot at all times.
Yep.
When it rains and there ain't no sun for a while, it just retains water.
So that could very well end up costing more than what,
Yes.
or has he got it, when he figured this, did he figure he was gonna have to do a bunch of replacement there?
No, that's why he states a $10 charge per foot will be charged for removing and replacing rotten, wet decking, insulation foam that needs to be replaced after removing areas to be patched.
That could add up real quick. Then what's he doing to the patrol shed for the 3,500?
they're going to remove the screws, replace the screws, silicone, what needs to be silicone, and they're gonna recaulk all that's got a block wall between the two. They'll go through and re-silicone that, I can give you that here. So for maybe the metal roof repairs, inspect fasteners on entire roof and caulk or replace failing fasteners. Inspect seams, patches, flashing or entire roof, caulk areas that are leaving or have the potential of leaking. Existing caulk will be removed in areas that will need to be recaulked. Install foam inserts in areas where they're missing. And then that would also include, the roof vents, the ridge vents there up the top. It'll include, replacing the 10-foot east and west roof. Install tune the ridge vents, seal around the vents. That's
So
both
that
sides.
should take care of that, cause that's not, is that leaking bad now that you know?
For sure, the west side leaks a fair amount to where it runs down the walls on the floor, so that one,
But that's all steel, right?
steel with insulation underneath it.
So there could be some insulation there.
Yeah, but they're not gonna pull anything up except for the roof vent, so they're gonna reinstall screws or maybe some insulation they gotta put around the vent, but,
Okay. So that should be pretty
yeah.
close on that one.
Mhm.
How many square feet do you think could be in jeopardy on the main roof?
Let's see. So say if we go 50 by 50, just to have a safe number. What do you got there? Is that 2,500? So figure 2,500 times 10. Yep.
That's where this could add up real quick. Well, if you're gonna once you get into it, you're gonna fix it, you gotta fix it, but I just don't wanna go to property and say, hey, we only need 22, and it could easily end up being 50.
We got a rough estimate. I didn't realize we had to go to property.
As you guys know, it could be a can of worms, or it could be smooth as silk. I mean, it's probably one way or the other, it's probably not in the middle. Unfortunately, you gotta open it up and find out if that's what we're gonna do.
Well, right. You're not gonna know until you know.
Is there a motion to approve it and send it to property?
I'm just trying to figure out what dollar amount I wanna put on it. I think you at least have to approve it and send it to property with the possibility it could be 40,000. And hopefully that covers it.
You wanna make that motion then?
I'll make the motion, send it to property with the, I was just thinking of the dollar number I wanted to put in it, make sure, I don't like coming back and having to ask for,
Justin, you can come to property and explain to them, right?
Yeah.
property can always adjust the dollar amount, Justin can do a little more digging, maybe, and doesn't sound like he's got much more to add to it, but maybe he could measure out 10 square feet a little closer and
Yeah.
give them a better idea.
Yeah, I can climb up there.
I'd say up to 40,000 for fixing the two roads out at highway.
Second. Alex seconded. Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carries. Connie will make sure it gets on the property agenda.
Yes. Sure.
Another issue for John.
Do we need another motion for this contractor? This
What we-
contractor specifically?
I don't think we can approve, can't tell them to go ahead with it, cause we don't know if it's gonna get financed yet, so we gotta wait for property.
Until we say pending property.
Pending, yeah, basically the motion would be pending property we have open bids for triax trucks.
So we got 4, 2 of them from the same company. We'll start with Peterbilt. Now these are cabin chassis. The triax or the push racks will be set up by the snowplow company. So these are just cab chassis tandems. So they come in per truck at $157,782.
157,782.
Yes.
This is from,
And they had called and reached out, cause we typically deal with Tough Track with our Western Stars, that's a Freightliner sided at a suspension. And they asked if they could even put a bid in, I said something comparable to the Tough Track would be fine, so theirs is a Chalmers 854, and it's comparable. So for a pair of trucks, it'd be $315, $564. They got a 20,000 pound front axle, 45,400 rear. Model of the truck is a 567. It's got a 4000 series Allison in it. The body be set up, the truck itself will be set up for an end dump.
Do they give a lead time?
Let's see.
Yeah.
I did, put that in the bid lead time, so let's see if I can find it. Do not see, just says model year 25 here, okay. Estimated completion date, March 31st of 25. And that's gonna have a Packard engine, 13-liter class. We'll go to Premier Truck. Should be a Freightliner. So their cost per truck would be $151,928. $158,685. Thus far. So the 151 must be the I'm not sure what's going on here.
Take your time, let's get it right.
He's got two different little hooks here. And one's listed at 151,982 and the other one's listed at 158,685.
Same models.
Yeah, it'd be a 114 SD. So they're gonna have a 12.8, so 13 liter, DD13, identical to what we're running right now. So it's gonna have the Allison automatic into it. It's got 46,000 rears. It's gonna have a set forward axle. It's got the top track suspension, 20,000 pump front. Not sure which one we're going off of, considering this one's got the spec sheet with it, this one's just got the price. This one is about just under $7,000 more. See if I can find a lead time on it. Oh, here's the difference. So the 151,928 is gonna be without a pusher axle, and the 158,685 is with a pusher axle. As far as
Which is how you did the Peterbilt quote with no push axle.
no pusher axle, correct. Cause we have the snowplow companies set them up so they know where they gotta be, so if we have pay them to do it and they have to move it, we're double paying for something that we should. But I do not see a timeline on either quote.
There ain't, you got Freightliner now, right?
So,
You got one Freightliner, right?
we have one quad axle Freightliner, does not have snowplow set up on it. The other ones are Western Stars, they run the same, the only difference is the cab. Yeah, I don't see a timeline on completion. When I was on the phone with him, he did say 25. Timeline completion be 25. When 25, I don't know. But that's all I can give you for that. We'll go to I-State. So this quote here would be if we did not order until the beginning of 25. So this would technically be a 26-year model. And this has the DD13, the Allison automatic, top track suspension, 20,000 pound front. That's what we have currently and what we're looking to have now. And that is gonna be per truck, $161,995. So it'd be ordered at 26 or the end of 25 here, and ETA would be March of 25.
And that's the Western Star?
That's the Western Star if we waited to order, or if we had to wait to get the truck, then
Be March of 26,
it would,
right?
no, March of 25, it'd be considered a 26-year model,
Okay.
so that's where that extra cost comes in.
Thank you.
Yep. Here's the other quote from my state. So if we ordered it shortly here, it would still be considered a 25-year model. Estimated time would be January 25. So right away in the beginning here, we could get the truck potentially. And that'd be $152,963 per truck. That is with the set forward axle, the DD13, the Allison. 46,000 rear, 46,000 tough track, 20,000 front. All the specs we were looking for on our cab axle and our wheelbase.
No pushers on these, correct?
No pushers on any of these. So with that being said, they'll have them in here, but the fitter companies, when I had talked to them, they're about 300 days out. So we can receive the truck sooner the better, 'cause it's about 20, well, when you order them for, say, the end of November, December, they turn to a 26-year model, about $8,000 more per year. And then you wait for the truck to be delivered, whatever the case is. That's why he gave two numbers, because one's a 26 model, one's a 25 model. And he has some 25 models coming, and I would, wonder if they as well have 25 models coming, because they don't have the $8,000 surcharge on them.
Then the first ones must have been 25s also, I mean, they're coming March of 25, but.
Yeah, 2025 Peterbilt, it's 567 tandem plow truck.
That's all of them?
Yep.
The only issue I have with is that car motor.
Yeah.
They put one in somebody's yet, they're still trying to get it perfected. So if we go that way, I just think we need to find a problem.
We've had good luck with Western Stars.
Very good luck. They haven't changed a whole lot. They've been very good.
Yeah, they seem pretty much standard.
Not Sweden, but a lot of the counties, that's what they're using is Freightliners and Western Stars for a majority of the trucks, talking about the other counties.
I had two. I had two, you don't need to sell me on.
Well, I'm not selling nobody, I'm just stating what they see, I don't know, whatever we decide is what we decide.
The new freight would be the one that go with 151,928.
Which one?
The Freightliner, Premier Freight, is it? 151,928.
Yeah, I think it was 150.
But he didn't give us a date on,
There's no date on there that I can
I
find.
think you're ready. I guess the big thing is when we want, I mean, it doesn't matter, we're not gonna take delivery till 25, whether it's January or March.
just showing the difference if we wait too long.
No, I'm just wondering, does it pay? You know, it's like buying a vehicle.
Yep.
You know, is there that value when you go to resell, do you get that 9,000 back to pay that up? No, I would probably say no,
I don't know
but,
about that.
cause usually when we're done with them, they're wore out anyhow.
That's been the going rate.
Well, in the past anyhow,
Yeah.
so they don't care what year it is, it's gonna matter how much life it has left in it.
Absolutely.
But I-State can get something for January 2025 for
Yes.
152,963.
Yes.
And you're talking,
Have them in our hands right away, pretty much.
pennies versus the 151 with no time at all versus what the start at 152. And plus, it kinda keeps the fleet a little more uniform.
$1,000 difference.
Yeah, so I mean, if it would've been more than that, I'd be more concerned, but not. What are we looking at, 2 or 1?
Pair would be nice. Considering the new emissions is coming. Talking a big chunk coming up here.
That's like 20 per truck, isn't it?
Well, that's what they're predicting. It hasn't come out yet.
What do we have in the kitty? That can be used for truck purchases?
Like the levy.
Well, the budget hasn't been passed by the board yet, so we're kind of flirting with fire there a little bit.
Well, we have, like, the levy that we've been given for 2024, we've got about 10,000 left after everything we've ordered and purchased. And
So really, right now, we could order one out of the 2024 as equipment fund.
we've got
I mean, even though we're not gonna receive it till 25, but.
714,000 in the equipment fund as of August. The D project will actually bring in some revenue, cause we were using our equipment.
I mean, the budget needs to be passed by the board yet for 2025, but if I recall, in there's one truck coming out of bond,
I think it's.
and one truck was figured on coming out of equipment fund for 25. So that highway could start to become more self-sustainable a little bit going into the future. That, correct me if I'm wrong on that, John.
Yep.
But it has to be passed. I don't remember the dollar amounts in there, maybe you do, that's proposed in the budget, but I don't feel comfortable ordering a truck on a what-if budget yet that hasn't been passed.
I think it's 380,000 of bond loan.
That's the next bid.
Right
Or
now.
for one truck. Our consultants wonder if he can
Yep.
speak.
Do you have equipment bids open too today for trucks?
Yes, that's next.
When you wanna open those next to get your numbers total to kinda have a feel for
Yeah.
where you're going with your numbers, cause you're jumping between years here from this year to next year, and I think it's good to see all your numbers before you, the thought.
So, yeah, we can postpone this till we open the next bid, so the truck bidding.
We can just leave it simple,
Yep.
open them up.
Yep, we'll open the bids, and everybody's fine with that.
Maybe we can
Yep.
kinda get a gather of the brains.
So is this one from Justin?
This one's from Monroe.
No?
We only got 2.
Yeah. Did we have set the last ones up
That's who's setting ours up right now, yep.
right now?
And the quads were set up by Universal. had them run these with an underbelly laid on them, so tri-axle in the winter time, you pull the axle off, and it would allow us to put a little more down pressure on the roads and peel some of the ice and whatever else, snow, a hard pack off. So that's part of this. It would have a mid-mount wing, so it'd be towards the rear. It's gonna have a stainless sander. It's gonna run the same hitch you've been running because you don't have a building that you can leave a plow on, so you gotta hook and unhook. It's the easiest for the guys to get in and out of. It's gonna come with stainless steel box. It's gonna have the brine system on the tailgate. We'll have a fold-up ladder on the back of the box. The lights, it'll come with the control, the touch screens, the joysticks, and then they got an explanation of the fitting. So it's gonna be a 17.6 box with a 8-foot tubular structure, 62 inches high. This is all the front flow. It's gonna have a double acting hoist for the box. Have a tarp on it. E-ring with a hitch. We'll set that up. The lighting package, hydraulics package. There's a steerable pusher axle. Plow hitch. Eight foot rear mounted wing or mid mounted wing. 12-foot underbody scraper. Tailgate spreader, the pre-wet system which is on the tailgate. Stainless steel lines, which would probably cost, I think it's got it in here, about $2,200 for the stainless steel lines that are underneath the truck. It minimizes repair time. Essentially over time it'll drive the cost down because you're only placing 6-foot chunks of hoses instead of 24-foot chunks of hoses on the side of the road. And then, 30-gallon hydraulic tank. And for this, the price per truck is gonna be $185,477. So for a pair of trucks, it would be $370,954. $370,954 for a pair.
That's your front plow and everything? I didn't hear you mention front plow.
Yep, front plow, underbelly, wing, sander box, pusher axle, lighting.
Brine system.
Yep, brine system, controls for operations. And
The wing ain't going to the back of that bed again, is it?
this one's gonna go back, so it's gonna have an underbelly on it.
I thought you guys didn't like those.
I didn't know that. I talked to the guys before we put this together. I made sure we worked together to find out what would work best for us. Especially when you run an underbelly on there, what'll happen is you have a front plow in your wing up front, and you'll peel your underbelly down, you're gonna leave a windrow on the side of the road. So you gotta have that wing back there.
I'm just curious, cause I thought the last one we bought got the rear wing on it, right?
One did and one didn't. The other one was switched to the front.
Correct, we
Yep.
did have that switch.
Yep.
I was just curious because the rumor has it, they didn't like it.
That may be because it was a quad. 'Cause you're
That could be right.
Super long.
Could be right.
Cause I talked with the other guys and essentially these would be nice to be put on the state. I mean, that's what we do is we try to get some return back from the state, putting them on the state. And with the underbelly on the state roads, we can try to keep them more cleaned up. And with the underbellies, you can put down pressure with these underbellies.
Right. I'm only asking because it came up, that's why that other one got pushed.
So you gotta pull the pusher to put the belly on this one?
This one you do, yep. This is, between talking to the guys and talking to the other counties, it's not all their trucks, but they do have trucks like this too. For that scenario, you don't have to send a grader out, and you got a truck with material on it, and then you can peel that salt, or not salt, that hard pack off. You get a little rain, or this blacktop's a little warm, and people are driving on it, and it makes that ice pack on there. The underbelly comes in handy there, so you can peel that off. That doesn't mean we have to order every truck like that, but a couple of them would be nice, especially with them single axles and Pete's. The condition of them's not that great, so this is kind of taking place of those, cause we discussed that maybe we would not get a single axle again and just do these trucks like this. Time will tell what we do for sure, but this would help us out in the future.
Didn't we touch on that briefly, cause there wasn't a huge difference in cost from a single axle to a tandem?
Truck wise, there's not a huge cost, maybe
Yeah.
setup wise, cause your box is bigger and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but. That was mineral, now we're on to universal. Oh, got the dump body in here. It's got a slope box, 60 inch to 44 inch to the tailgate. Double acting cylinder hoist for the box. Hendrickson pusher axle. Force America hydraulic system, same as what Monroe would use. One-way plow, which is the same as the other. Houston hitch for the plow. This will have a 9-foot rear mounted wing. Stainless steel sander. Reversible underbelly scraper. The pre-wet system, liquid system. And all the lighting. For their option for the stainless steel hard lines front to rear would be $4,534. And to install the pintle hitch with the 1-inch plate, D-rings, trailer plug, glad hands would be $1,761. And then a slurry pipe installed to the sander, 3-way selector would add another $1,045. So per truck without the add-ons, it's $197,168. Lead time is 300 days. Their completion date on Monroe's, I think it said 26th of July. July or August of 26 for Monroe. And
If we
Universal
get the trucks in March of 25, they can't complete them till
next year.
summer of 26.
That's Monroe. And Universal's out 300 days, a minimum. Well, actually I lied. Lead time is 300 or less days after chassis delivery, so as soon as they get the truck, you can start your days.
I don't know why you couldn't get on the schedule now, order the trucks.
The Universal could actually, but they'd be quicker to get into.
They would be quicker.
You did say, what do you mean by the slope box?
So it starts out 60 inches at the front, tapers back to 44 inches. That's,
We don't have one like that now, do we?
majority of our trucks are that way.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yep. Instead of being 60 inch across to the
Yeah.
tailgate, it's 66 to 44.
Yeah. Slope side. Slope side.
Okay, now, if I understood you correctly, it said Universal is 300 days after the truck is delivered?
Right.
Okay, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah, we've like been with 197, 168 on Universals. If we wanna do the stainless steel lines, that's another roughly $4,500 added to that. And then if we wanted to put the hitch plate on it, That's,
On top of this quote,
yes.
but it was in the other quote.
No, it was added to it. Let me see here.
Monroe's, we have to add it to that 185 per truck?
Yeah, both of them you gotta add, they're options.
Oh,
Let me tell you what we got here. So the hitch is added to Monroe's, it's in there. It's in there. So Monroe. Just make sure. Good luck. Yep, hitch package is added with Monroe.
And the stainless steel line.
The stainless steel lines add $2,273.
is that the only thing we'd have to add to Monroe's?
Looks like another $1,279 for the 38 gallon, behind the cab hydraulic tank. The setting behind the cab, so it's not sitting low, it's gonna be stainless steel as well.
1,000 what?
279.
Per truck.
Yes.
Anything else?
If you wanted to throw a toolbox on there, you're talking $689 to add a toolbox to it.
Do we have 2 boxes now?
On our current trucks, we do.
Anything else? Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, if they gotta move the air dryer and stuff, there's miscellaneous $200 charges here and there, but we don't know if they're gonna be moving that until they work on it. You know, fuel tank, battery box, fuel water separator.
So you're still in the missing.
Yeah, I tell you what, we'll have the truck.
Probably 98 should be checked.
My math is right, it's 4241 with those 3 things there to add on to the truck.
What was the first thing?
Stainless steel line, 2273 per truck from Monroe. I got 4241 with those last three things you mentioned. What?
did budget for one truck out of bonding, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
380, I think is what's in there now, of course, that all depends on the radio project.
542, 681 per truck.
But that hasn't been passed by county board yet, so we can't count on it yet.
Any discussion on them?
Well, I think they should be passed based off the 2025 budget, but if something doesn't happen, better plan to.
We can make a motion pending approval of the budget, that's not tomorrow. What's in November?
Yeah, that's coming up 2, 3 weeks.
Yeah, Jerry, it's here today.
9 o'clock, 8 AM.
12:30.
I got something planned that day, so you'll have to.
So, considering these trucks are out a while to be fitted, if we purchase the 2 trucks right away out of the equipment fund, so was it 320-ish, somewhere around there? That'll come out of the equipment fund, and then if we get that bond, it'll go towards the setup of the trucks. We got the trucks, we don't have to worry about it, it's just a matter of when they get set up.
Worst comes to worst, the trucks just sit out there, we'll get them set up next year when the budget comes out. We'll set the trucks.
It seems like sometimes the trucks are hard to get.
Yeah, we'll be a step ahead of the game, John. Let's just keep buying trucks, worry about outfitting them. We're gonna drive our consultant to drink, though, next time we're.
Any comment?
Yep.
I mean, I obviously, these are big decisions for you guys. I mean, each truck, you're talking $350,000. I think last month I went through with it internally, the department's only generating $280,000. I know that's leading to the bonding and other levy dollars that are going towards machinery. So these are big decisions. I mean, you're looking at funds for this year, you're looking at funds for next year's budget, which you don't even have passed yet. I mean, I don't wanna, step in the middle too fast here. Obviously, I just got started here, as far as, do you delay this decision? I mean, one thing I mean, just again, I'll throw a recommendation out there is opening bids in a meeting like this, trying to make decisions, is a hard thing for you guys to have to deal with in the first place. I mean, I don't know if in the future it makes sense to open the bids, pre-meeting and then actually bring the bids to the, so we have a chance to review and go through the details and all that for the committee, but, I mean, I don't think it would be a big hang-up. It's basically delays and timeframes right now. If we could delay the decision until next month's meeting, the budget be passed by that time. But it gives Justin and I a chance to go through the numbers a little more and look at it and see if there's anything else we would recommend, if that's something the committee would consider. Again, these are big decisions. Look, I spent $700,000 and you're depleting your machinery fund this year and into next year already. You're starting to commit funds all the way out into next year. Is that's something the committee would consider is, just holding off and give us a chance to go through the numbers a little bit more and check some things with your whole equipment. I started spending some time last week running through your equipment operations and, try to do some things there and looking at some things, but, again, when you spend all the money, it's hard to make changes and adjust things. If I start looking at things a couple months from now and saying, hey, boy, it'd be nice to have some money right now, cause we need to start making this little twist here in what we're doing here in our operations and how we're managing the department and so I don't know, just a thought I'd throw out there.
The frustrating part is you buy a truck and then you're talking 18 months before you see it on the road.
Yeah,
That's the real frustrating part with this.
and I agree, I mean, I've been waiting for trucks for over 2 years and it's something I bought already, so it's such a long time frame. I guess that's one of the things I'm bringing up too is, it looks like they're speeding up, they have been speeding up, that turn point is still long, but it's a lot better than it's been here 2, 3, 4 years ago as far as turning trucks now. You're still looking, a year and a half at least, longer based on the numbers you're seeing right now. But again, does it matter the next month to get some things solidified with your numbers, your budgets, and make sure we're on the same page as far as, what you have in your machinery fund now and going forward. And again, I haven't had a chance to even talk to, Justin and these guys about what's in the budget for next year and how that's actually gonna look next year at all. And, it'd be nice to kinda get our arms around that a little bit going forward in next year's budget and.
How long are these bids good for?
Should be 30 days, I think.
I guess that would be one concern I'd have, so we don't have to do the process over.
Yeah, and
there's a window coming up, yeah, in the next, 3-4 months, you gotta hit that window, otherwise you're gonna hit that emission stuff, I agree, that's gonna be a big cost increase, we're hearing 30 to 40,000 on the truck increase once you hit that emission window, if that plays out.
It's not to do with that emission.
It sounds like it maybe isn't gonna take place yet for 26, if the 26-year models were only going up 9,000.
27 is when it kicks in, but they start to make the models almost a year in advance, so that's why it's not that far
Well,
off.
27 is the year we almost wanna plan for maybe no trucks, so we're not a guinea pig. I mean, if possible.
Last time with the emission, the big emission change last time had all kinds of issues, so it's probably a good bet to try to get stuff in before and then have a little gap in there maybe between, when it first come out.
Next years they gotta go out to.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be perfect. It's always perfect when we change it, so.
Just believable. I knew you wanted to.
Just need a good lawyer.
You better be careful, you're gonna make social media.
You need a good lawyer for that.
There's no favoritism for you anymore either.
So, yeah, that was, so 30 days on Monroe's is what we're seeing there.
So if they're telling us they're only gonna do it good for 30 days to approve it, they should be setting that, getting ready to start working on the truck after
I
30
knew that was
days.
coming out of you now.
Not till when the truck shows up.
Pretty easy to set the rules where you want when you're kind of going game of town or something.
When's our next meeting supposed to be? After the budget?
Look at the bid date as well, right? Is it today or?
Now, what did you actually give them?
This one, I can't find nothing on Universal's for how long it's good for or not.
So you guys good with waiting till next month to approve these and have Justin?
Well, what's the date of the next?
I don't have a, I don't,
18th.
I don't have a problem with it, I agree with what you said, we really need to just wait and see.
We're within that 30-day window.
You're talking Thursday, the 21st of November, we're having a meeting before that.
What, our budget should be approved on the 12th, right?
If you show up, we should be done with it, come 12, 13.
What's this 13th, 14th stuff?
Let's postpone it on, 12. I need to see.
Do you need a motion? Do you need a motion for the next one?
Huh?
Yeah, we don't have to motion that, we do the next. Who's supposed to be next one?
And we go over the numbers better and see if there's any changes they want to make. Okay,
On both items, correct?
both items, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, moving on. Purchase barn owl cameras.
Alright, so barn owl cameras, the county can utilize it, learned it from other counties, like Ashland, Bayfield, Douglas, I know Chippewa uses them, Burnett County, Polk County's looking into them. Bayfield County has like 30-something or so, 40, I couldn't remember the exact number. I talked to him, in Green Bay at the conference there. So, whether we get 5, 10, whatever we get, if we put, whatever number we put on the state, we can get reimbursement through that. So if we have one on 27 north and south, and then east and west on 8, say 40, 73, we can get reimbursement for using it for winter maintenance stuff. And then in the summertime, if we decide we don't need, say we buy 10 of them, we don't need that many out, we turn it off, and then come fall time, we turn them back on. And you can set them up to certain individuals' cell phones, or, you know, like Commissioner Operations phone, emails. You go to the email and check your pictures, you can request a picture. You can set it to vehicles going by, or some certain kind of motion. So 5 would be nice, 10 would be great, because then we can have some on our county roads as well, because snowstorms come through, it might only be half the county, so instead of calling all the guys out, you can call 7, 8 guys, you ain't paying someone to be running the roads, you know, as much. I mean, there's still probably gonna be some of that, but you're gonna minimize the cost through using these.
And what percentage will the state pick up after they're placed?
So whatever camera you have on the state, they're supposed to, they're reimbursed for that one, so we pay for it and then they reimburse us. So if we have, say we have 10 cameras, we put 5 on the state, they'll pay for 5 of them.
I see it says, annual data plan renews automatically, so that 3850 on like the 5 cameras, that's worth the data plan for the first year.
So yeah, that must be part of the purchase of the cameras in the plan. And then talking with another commissioner, what they do in the summer is they shut them down. So maybe we could switch it to month by month payment.
That's not what the plan says. Renews automatically on 10 cameras for $4,500 after the first year. For the annual data plan. So if you're gonna get 10 cameras, you almost need to have a place for them year round. That's what I'm reading out of this.
Yeah, and if we set them on the state, we could have 5 or 6 or whatever we move to the state year round for.
Well, you only save $50 by going with 10 versus 5. I guess if I was gonna do this, I'd start with 5. That's my thought.
Yeah, just try to work that out.
Because if you put them on the roads, if your thought's to use them for money, I mean, I guess, or we don't wanna say everything, you know, meetings where you plan on using these cameras sometimes, but if you have other places where you're thinking you may want to use these cameras during different times of the years for security purposes,
Right.
then I guess that's,
Yeah, universal.
so if you could, if those places are gonna be a year-round type situation, then I guess is 5 gonna do it, or could you try 2 or 3 on the road and put 1 or 2 of these in some of those places and
Yeah.
get what you need?
Yeah, certainly, I mean, we could do one on the north and south end of the state, or the county, and then the east and west of the county, and go from there and leave
Then that
one
gives
that
you
goes
one
around.
to move around.
Yep.
I think if you do the state roads and get the state to pick up the majority, isn't that gonna tell you mostly what you got going on with your county roads too? I mean, off of that part of the county.
Well, it depends, you get up there in the hills too, the weather's a little bit different at times up there too. You might have what was it, 2 years ago, we had a storm that come through, and it was only half the county got hit, bad over to the east, and then the other half, nothing. The state should be able to tell that, but you don't know on the north or south end who should go out or who shouldn't go out. So I guess what I'm getting at is if we have this, so we put up, so say, take for instance, the east side, we have it over on Highway 8, yeah, it's good. Then we have one on M South, well, there ain't nothing on M South, maybe we don't have to mess with that road.
Oh. Say that it should go month to month, because that costs
Do what?
the package, shut it off.
Yeah, well, the way so I don't know how you, I mean, I'm sure you can shut it off, like you said, but,
Yep, so the initial cost would be $38.50, and then every year it renews is $22.50.
right,
That's for the 5 cameras.
right, or the 10 is 4,500
Yeah.
to renew. Which comes out the same, so if you buy 5 now and 5 later, it's still
Yeah.
4,500 on 10, or 2250 on 5. So,
Yeah, right, no, there's nothing wrong to get 5 and trial them, and if it works for us, and we maybe
what
wanna get a
budget would
couple
that,
more.
where would that come from?
It would come out of, small tools fund, and then it would
If
be.
you have it,
Small tools,
you have it now?
we make sure it's high, but I'm fairly certain they have it. And then we would be reimbursed on 4 of them, say, because 4 would be on the state.
But only the months they're on there, so you're gonna have to, they're gonna prorate that, I'm sure, unless you're gonna leave them on there year round. Then you get the state to reimburse you year round on those to try them out.
They don't
Right.
prorate, it's just whatever month they start up on and then come back around to that stuff.
Right, but if we're gonna pay, if this is an annual renewal, it's got, however the state reimburses, she'll have to either break it down to 12 months or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to start. If there's a reimbursement program out there.
Hey, another one, I think you need to
Spears in the woods, they'll reimburse you if they catch you poaching.
We didn't have to go that far.
Well, I'm just saying,
Minor self-defense.
So I did bring it to her attention that we're looking at these, and she said we should be able to, but with her coming in, we'll have her double check. Handle 5 of these cameras on our small tools. So initial cost and yearly cost.
I mean, our small tools rate is something we calculate every year based on actual costs from the prior year, so, it would probably increase. Our small tools rate right now is at 2.4%, so it'd probably increase that a little.
well, honestly, if this is gonna be used on the highways and stuff, why can't this fall under equipment fund? It's being used as a tool, such as, I mean, to benefit our equipment, whether we run it on the road, maybe I'm splitting hairs here, but.
The equipment fund is usually dedicated to equipment that's actually classified by
Okay.
the state as a number.
But this is, if we're gonna get reimbursed from the state on this, I guess is where I was also going with that.
So
And if it doesn't, it doesn't, I'm just asking the question.
if we were reimbursed by the state for it, I wouldn't think then it would be a small tool, we would charge the cost to the state RMA.
Okay.
The routine maintenance agreement. So it'd essentially be an expense and a revenue, so a wash. Wouldn't cost
So where
us.
do you suggest this comes from if we're gonna do this, these 5 cameras?
Well, if we can get reimbursed by the state, yeah, I'd go that way.
But
Otherwise,
we don't know for a fact that we can get reimbursed then.
Yeah, we should be able to, Bayfield County start state based on how many cameras are on the state route, so if they got 20 cameras, they got 8 on state routes, then they're charging, what, 40% to the state. That's, I did a little more research on this, and they're getting reimbursed through the state on what they have out there. And at Bayfield County, they got, like I said, 30 to 40 of them, I don't remember the exact number, he couldn't quite remember either, I think he said like 38 they have on their county.
That's a lot.
Yeah, typically, like Justin says, that, for the RMA, it's, as long as the DOT, and Justin would have to talk to, the maintenance supervisor there, and as long as they agree to, you know, it sounds like they have in other counties, they agree to it, you just charge every month to the RMA, whatever your data fee is there, they just charge it, if it's all on state highways, just gotta talk to the maintenance supervisor for the DOT, and they're fine putting it on our main, which is, sounds like they have been in other counties, you probably get it all completely paid for if it's the state highways.
Well, that's why I'm thinking the 5, because if for some reason the state doesn't, then we'll use them within the county. I just don't wanna go, what's 5, okay? You use them without the county, there's a use form that's beneficial. But I think it'd be a good idea to go about it with the state first, so I'm gonna make the motion that we get 5 of these cameras for the price here of $38.50.
Your second? Any more
Out of what budget?
Out of what budget?
I wouldn't put budget.
Okay. Typically, if I don't, I get in trouble.
They want where the money's coming from.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming from the highway department, I mean, if it's,
The highway budget, that's not right.
because I can't tell you if the state's gonna reimburse it, then it's,
That's right, what it is, highway budget.
Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carries. Out of county travel?
So, Monroe actually reached out to me last week to see if we wanted to go down and check the pre-build on these trucks, see how everything was going, cause they started on the first one. So, that's down in Monroe, Wisconsin, so, bring it to your attention, if you guys want us to go, or let us go, we'll go check the trucks out.
I don't know, what do you guys think?
That's a long way down there.
We would leave early, we wouldn't room, and then we'd come back that night, or that
It's
day.
a long haul, I know exactly where you're at.
How many guys go?
2.
How far along, where are they at in the process?
Beginning, that's why I wanted to come down and see how everything is, how we want it,
These are the ones we ordered
last go around, the trucks.
right around the end of the year, wasn't it? No.
We ordered the trucks at the end of last year, we got them and they're pushing them through fast for however it worked out for us.
Okay. So it's just mileage and essential, right? Write something up for it or no?
Then there's out of county travel, there'll be meal reimbursement.
What's your estimated cost? How many are going?
2, it'll be with mileage and meals, $6.86.
the mileage on there is for a, highway truck, so it, I mean, it's not really something we're gonna be charging out.
So it's moving from one to another?
Essentially, so it's not really an out of pocket cost.
Well, these trucks are going on state roads, so the mileage should be able to be reimbursed from the state, correct?
Nice try.
Just a yes or no question.
Is there a motion to approve? Any more discussion on it then?
I don't mind paying for one, I don't know why two. Let's just.
Who would go, Justin?
Eric would come, or myself, both, one or the other.
Let's look at that for each one, I don't mind two, you know.
Can always FaceTime or whatever if you need to.
I think they're like,
So you can always FaceTime someone and discuss, they don't want to discuss it or whatever, while you're there. Something.
So you made a motion for one to go?
I did, but if you want me to, I'll make the motion to one person for out of county travel.
I'll second.
Any more discussion on it? Justin decides who goes,
Yeah, Dustin can decide who goes.
we can go over. Nobody wants to sign? Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we have the commissioner.
Hang on, there's one more. They have a winter tech talk in Rice Lake. Basically it's a training seminar. Bill, I'm sure is going. So that would be Eric and myself as well. Justin Barron at, the tech there.
What's the price cost?
Meals would be $78.50.
We pay to eat a lot.
You gotta get something.
Go to Quick Trip. How much was it again? I'm sorry.
$78.50.
Approve the other out of county travel to Barrett or Barrett?
Eric.
What?
Fair.
Oh,
Barron.
Barron.
Barrett.
Barron. In Rice Lake.
Right, say for 78, whatever it was.
John made that.
Yeah.
Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Opposed, carried. Next, we have the commissioner's report.
We finished up County D there, now it's in, Haz's hands to get the lines painted and the shoulders done, cause that's part of the LRIP. Haz went through and did the culvert there by the intersection of I&V and Market Road. That one we did bids on, that was another LRIP, they finished that. Would've been Wednesday night of last week. I said earlier, we got about 15,000 tons through the blacktop hot mix plant. And we're probably getting in the transition of getting trucks set up for winter maintenance. Here, whether it's this week or next week, we'll probably start rolling trucks in to get them set up and ready for the season to change.
Did you get my message about WW?
Yeah, I called you, you get my message?
Maybe, I don't know.
I was gonna see where you were talking.
It's the only one, it's the only blacktop spot down there on W.
The south?
Yep, where the culvert, well, you guys were working on the north, that's what prompted me to see if you could come to the south, but it's where the culvert washed out.
Changed it, or no?
It'd been changed out,
Okay.
but lack of words, half-ass patch.
Okay.
So it's bumpy and every time you come across, you know, even the gravel trucks, when they got their, tags down and stuff, they're skipping so hard across that it's black marking.
Okay.
So I was curious if you could run a piece across that, but now you say that's how it's probably down.
Well, we'll be over there next year for W North for that.
That's another whole year of rough riding for me.
Yeah, yeah, some of the plants probably done for the year.
Sounds like you need a better suspension. You gotta get that electric car.
I have an electric bike, that's close enough.
No.
But anyways, that's what I was calling for, because they quickly did it, and it's just, it's
Not great.
it's like this.
Okay.
So it's got a pretty good dip in it.
Alright. I'll write it down here and we'll.
Anything else on the commissioner's report, Justin?
I don't have anything else right now, no.
And then you can go into them about the current contract and on the commissioner's report.
Sure, did you wanna, are you okay if Bill just addresses the
Yes.
fee quickly? Okay, so just, an overview, Jerry and I talked last week, I think it was, and we, ran a contract past Rich. Everything looks good through the end of 2024, so we did sign that at $4,800 a month. We will be working, Jerry and I, to get a contract for 2025 too at next month's meeting. And then Bill just wanted a chance, I think, to kind of introduce himself again and talk to the committee about what his priorities are here through the end of the year.
Yeah, I just really appreciate it. I think, got the contract signed last week and, spent, I guess a day last week with, Justin and the staff there. They've been super welcoming, got a chance to kind of run around with Justin a little bit, looking at projects and went up to the hot mix plant and spent a little time out there just to look at that operation and, so spent a fair amount of time last week just gathering a lot of data just from the department on some of your budgets and equipment reports and all that, and, so I know, got kind of a feel from just, being here last month and talking a little bit and talking to Ashley, talking to Justin about priorities, and I know, that's why I mentioned I kind of had to pipe up there a little bit today just to talk about equipment, cause that's a big area that I talked about here last month or a few months ago, I guess, when we went through, the operations here, so again, putting a lot of numbers together on that and kind of looking at that operation, and we've seen some good things and bad things, which you're typically gonna see anywhere you go into, and, when I look at the equipment, you know, again, we got a lot of, that's why these decisions are big decisions, which I brought up earlier, you know, it's a lot of money now, the equipment costs have gone through the roof, which you guys know here in the last 5 years. So trying to look at the operation and see if we can generate more funds internally with our equipment operations, because the costs are just astronomical now for buying one truck or whatever it is nowadays, so that's kind of what I'm really gonna focus on quite a bit here initially. I have some draft stuff ready, I'm not gonna pass it out today, but I think by next month we'll be ready to probably pass out some draft stuff I'm kind of working on right now, just looking at all the equipment operations and, trying to get kind of a bigger plan, so these decisions, this shouldn't be one-offs, you know, when you look at buying equipment, it should be kind of your whole plan of what you're doing and kind of where you're heading as a department, and that's really what I'm kind of looking at the operation and working with staff and trying to figure some of that out right now. It's a smaller department, and you know, looking at priorities and what you're doing for operations and seeing what we can do to try to squeeze out some efficiencies, and especially looking at that equipment side and how it ties into your budget. And I guess what I'm seeing some different things, again, I'm seeing some budgets that seem to be pretty inconsistent over the last few years. It's really hard to run an operation like that, no matter how good you are, you know, and so I'm trying to find a happy place there when you look at budgets and look at the equipment and look at the manpower and facilities and everything together, and try to have kind of a vision of what we wanna be kind of going forward. And so that's really what I'm gonna start to work on right now, and again, staff has been awesome already, just going to spend today, tomorrow out there and going through some of the operations out there, and again, I don't know how you guys, you know, what kind of format you guys want for the future. Again, I'm gonna try to make as many highway committee meetings as I can, and if you wanna, you know, have me give a kind of a little spiel like this every time and maybe give you a little report on kind of what I'm doing and what I'm working on, I'll plan on doing that. And again, as I go forward, I'll again try to produce some documents with what I'm working on as far as some of the operations and equipment, and start putting it out there for you guys to see, just to kind of give you a feel for what we're doing, and hoping to make it easier for you guys making decisions too. It's tough, again, it's tough right now with the budgets the way they are, and these decisions are big decisions, so whatever I can do, and again, I'm open, if you guys ever need to give me a call or anything like that, I'll be up quite a bit actually, so you guys give me a holler too if you wanna talk to me ever about anything, so. If there's any questions at all right now?
You got any questions for him?
No, I'm thinking do we need to put him like a spot on the agenda for his report every month or something going forward, or? Huh?
We can.
That's probably a good idea, and if he's here, he's here, and he's not, he's not.
I just put a consultant's report. Okay. Any questions? Next we have the safety report. I think you had a safety.
Yeah, Dustin was there Wednesday. He went through what the guys got caught up with, what we had missed between jobs and schedules not working out. They went through CPR training, so they're caught up on that. They had another one, but we left for the Chems convention over in Green Bay, so I didn't get to be there for most of it, but they went through CPR and worksite hazards stuff.
Questions on that report? Financial report?
I wanted to start out by, answering a couple of questions on invoices from last meeting. Jerry, you asked about, some fire numbers that we had purchased. Apparently we had damaged them, so we purchased them and to replace them. And then the railroad crossing light, by Phoebe's Crossing, took a little digging to figure that one out. What happened was at the quarterly traffic safety meetings, it was brought up, they looked at several different options. The railroad and the DOT they were not going to pay for it. And so I believe the commissioner at that time agreed to pay for them and put them up. The invoice I found was about $4,600 for the 2 lights. So that's what happened there. Financials, you can see that like our projects haven't really changed a whole lot, cause we hadn't started D. Next month you'll see the costs for D, included in there. Not much change for the blacktop plant. And the equipment fund balance, like I said, was, close to 715,000, and our blacktop plant is about 576,000 in the red. Our accounts receivables are looking good. We have the budget transfers from August, see what our budgets are looking at, like, the expenses we've had for August, where our balances are. And then, of course, winter maintenance hasn't changed since last month. Anybody have any questions on any of the financials?
Yeah, the one for the town of Dewey, $222,000, what do we do for that?
You're looking at the accounts so that's their total, we did, was it Bronson Drive? We blacktop for them.
I thought that was only like 80.
They also had culvert aid too,
Oh, okay.
so that includes culvert aid as well. I can pull it up, the invoices.
It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Just seems awful high number for one township. Crack seal. That's it.
That one for damage claims, is that just kind of still hanging out?
Yeah, so that one is, was reported to the DA's office, and we may or may not recover it through restitution. That's what we're looking at. Nancy Hahn has worked really well with us to recover some things, she's pretty good.
Do you have any questions on the financial report? Hearing none. Any highway committee announcements? Hearing none. Approval of payment of the highway invoices. Got the big sky truck, the 8-foot truck bed, that was the one that got damaged, so that's an insurance fee, right? Yep.
Yes.
How'd that happen?
Guy backed out of the shed and backed into a plow.
That'll do it. How's it going? New trucks haven't came yet, right?
No, I just message them, they said they're just starting on the line, let me know when the VIN number comes through.
We ordered those,
What's that?
we ordered them new
Pickups?
pickups.
Yeah.
And again, why did we not check around with other dealers? Revolver has lots full, sitting there, cabin chassis, $4 and $2. I was just there a week and a half ago.
We bid it out.
I know we did, but what I'm getting at here is why we don't reach farther. Because there's six dealers sitting on the ground down there, cabin chassis for $4 and $2. That's my point, you know, when I went and bought a new Senna, I didn't stay just within Wisconsin, I wanted it on Nebraska, because I saved myself $10,000. That's my point, we need to start reaching farther.
How you gonna do that though?
Do what?
Reach farther?
Get on the phone, I guess.
The next one I have, Jump River Electric. There's 3 invoices and it's all coming out of the Genius.
Bituminous, that's a blacktop plant,
There's 3 meters up there?
yeah.
Why would there be 3 meters on one site? I don't know, it just,
I mean, we've had 3 meters up there since I started, so before we even, purchased the new plant that we have up there were 3 meters up there.
Well, what is it much of a charge? Is it just like a yard light? $78 per month?
Maybe.
it just seems, it's a lot per month just to pay electric. Paying 3 meter fees, another meter fee is $60 so.
Does it have to do with like the loads, maybe, like the power load coming in? Yeah, some of them they have to, there's so much power that plant pulls, they have to be big somewhere.
Well, the one's 2,700, that would've meant the month of August, we ran some blacktop through there or something.
Yeah, the one you'll see is always much larger. During the summer, that is for, obviously, plant, so.
I'm just wondering if we actually ran something through, or if that thing's just drawing a crap ton of juice.
No, we did, we ran something through it.
That's when we're doing the culvert patches.
Is there a motion to approve the invoices?
So moved.
Any motions or second? Any more discussion on them? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed to set next meeting date,
That's very good.
it's 18th. Alright. Anybody have anything else? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make motion, Jim.
All in favor say aye.